What's up, beautiful people? I'm going to be doing a diamond tutorial, our reverse Serenity diamond tutorial. We did a thing where if we got 50 saves on a video on Instagram, we were going to release this tutorial. So here it is. I think this is going to be our first video for YouTube as well. So make sure you subscribe or follow, however that goes on YouTube. Not quite sure yet, but we appreciate it. The first step in any tie-dye shirt that you're going to be mirroring, you're going to want to mark off your center points. I usually just do the bottom because I use the seams up here to line up the top, and then I'll mark it off, but I'll show you guys. It might be a little difficult to see what I'm doing, but there's plenty of videos on mirroring shirts. But you basically want to take one of the sleeves and pull it through, and then you want to take your arm out and go back through that sleeve. And I usually grab it here at the seam. Now you know it's centered, and then you're going to push it into the other arm. I grab the other seam here, line them two up, and then I usually have it like sprawled out in front of you. I'm going to try to do it on the camera for y'all. But once you get the sleeves lined up, give it a little shake, and then I'll I put my arm back through here and start finding this big seam here, this one here. But I'm looking on the inside to make sure it's lined up properly. And then once I have it there, then I know that's centered. Mark it off. And then same thing with the front of the shirt. It's going to be centered because the seam's lined up again. And just mark that off. And then usually grab that top seam here and grab this sleeve, shake it out a little bit, and then you can grab your marks down here and I usually just give it a tug, get it straight, and then fold it over. And then that's the bottom of the shirt there. I'm going to stick my arm through here. And I kind of just run my left arm while holding that center. And it takes a little while. I usually have it off to the side of me, so it's a little easier for me to maneuver and get straight. So it might take a second to get this lined up. And so that's how you start any symmetrical shirt that you're going to do. This way you could just fold it in half, but then your front and back are going to look similar. This allows the front and the back of the shirts to be completely different. So that's where we're going to start off there. Should have grabbed an iron. But alright, so now that we have the mirroring done, we are going to take the front of the shirt and you're going to fold it right in half. And I usually get this top right under the collar or whatever the hell that's called.
Come this way a little bit. Yeah.
Get it right under the collar, and then you're going to want to, same thing, there's a hem here. I don't go past the hem. That's where my, I just line those two up. And now you're basically folded in quarters here. and it takes a little bit to get lined up here. And I'll probably add, I'm gonna try adding text to the front of the video, but what you're gonna need, it's still early. I use a pastel, just an oil pastel. They come out in the wash. It's been the thing that stays the most and easiest to work with. Kind of got to sharpen the point off of them, or a point into them, to get fine lines, but they do the trick. And I also have some alligator clips, I think they're called. They're just like for hair or whatever. And I like to get the center lined up, or the tops lined up, and then I'll throw a clip on it so it stays. Because as we're folding this up, the material will move all over, but if you got it clipped, you're straight. So you need a pastel or a chalk, or a marker if you're doing it on a white shirt. This is just the reverse version, to show you how we do it. And then you also need some sinew. Which we have wound on a dowel, and I think this sinew's coming undone, but either way, it's fine. But that's all you really need to get the diamond done. And now to figure out the shape of the diamond, we've been doing it for some time, so I have a couple shapes that I stick to. I just feel like it's the most aesthetically pleasing to display my energy. But y'all are welcome to play around with it. The funkier you get, the more difficult it does get to pleat it up after we draw the line. So just keep that in mind. I usually start by I'll even grab one of these clips sometimes, and just kind of, I can see the indentation in the fabric here. I kind of gotta get it in the right light, but this way I don't have so many lines with my chalk if I don't like the design when I first draw it. Alright, so I can see them. I'm going to put these points here now. Let's move this. There. Oh, and you'll need a ruler. You can draw them with just freehand, but the ruler has always worked best for me. So I want to extend this out a little bit. Or do I? And usually this last mark here, you don't want to go too far past your arm, your sleeve here. And I'd say this is a little advanced in the shape if it's the first time you're trying it. I wouldn't make so many cuts. But if you're feeling froggy, by all means go for it. Everything's a learning process. So I usually start at the bottom. It's just the easiest for me. And let's see. And then I just pleat up the lines. And once I get to the corners, I'll show you. You can see it's like that big as far as your pleats go. You don't want them too big, not too small. And they're gonna vary in size when you get to the corners and stuff too. And I just keep straightening out the fabric all the way around so that it doesn't start clumping on top of itself. All right, so at the corner, I want this corner to be on the down of the pleat, or yeah, I guess that's how I'm gonna say it. So I'm trying to grab where once I fold up, this corner is gonna be at the bottom here like it is. I just found it easier to turn a corner at the bottom of a pleat. That's a personal preference. I do turn the corner at top of the pleats when I have to. This might be a case where I have to go from the top on one of these turns because there's so many. And this corner actually lines up perfect at the bottom where I need it. Just take your time and straighten out. Make sure you get just the lines lined up. All right, let's see. See, in this corner, it falls a little past all my pleats, but I'm still gonna keep it there and fold it over the same way. And same thing, this one's smaller than all of them, but the corner's at the bottom there, so it makes it easy to fold it back over and line them lines up. At this point, I'll take the clip off just because you can't fold it with it on. Alright, and then that's all lined up, and then we're going to take our sinew, which is right here. And we'll just put it over that line. Make sure it's... I usually go around 3 times before I start pulling my sinew. It will lock it in place at that point. And I usually use my table as leverage on these, but I'm going to try to tighten it. Alright, so there. Now it's secure, it's not going to go anywhere. This is all the diamond, and then this is going to be the back half of the shirt. So next thing we have to do is we're going to put a diagonal up this pleat so that you're doing a sort of a honeycomb effect, and you'll get a triangle sitting in there. And I usually put 3 of these in. I just find it gives a real nice effect. But I did one recently on a white shirt that only had 1 tie, like just the outline tie, and that it came out really good too. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. Play around with it, see what you can come up with. That's going to be the most exciting part for us, is to see what y'all do with this and what spin y'all put on it, and put your own creative flow into it. Alright, so you're going to turn it over after you put this first one in. And I usually start lining up this stuff a little bit better so that it's more pleated where the tie is going to be. And you're kind of doing the same thing. You're going to put a diagonal, like you're tying a mandala. Oh wait, that's not right. What's going on? Okay, there you go. You're going to put a diagonal, like you're tying a mandala, like I said. Jeez. First YouTube video. Alright, so on the other side you can see the same thing. Give that a nice tug, and like I said, 3 times, and then I give it a good pull. Alright, and again, you're going to flip that over and do the same thing one more time, or not, either way. Just how I do it. You might have to straighten the material out a little bit. Can't get it wrong, just know that. And same thing, we're going to do a diagonal like we're tying the mandala. Alright, and then so this is basically the center of your diamond here. That's your very center tip of it. You can take your pastel and mark it off. I just know where it is. So like that's the center. But you can do that before you start folding so you know where it is. And then from there you can just get really creative. Flip this over. But I usually try to keep my eye on the center and make sure that gets folded up really nice so it doesn't take itself out of symmetry during the tying process. So I'll give that a couple good folds. And then I'm basically going to try to pleat that up a little bit as best I can. Wrap my sinew. And again, I go around 3 times before I give a good pull. I found the tighter you can get with the reverses, the more black or negative space stays. It gives a good contrast with all the reverses. So if you're not getting the black lines, it means you need to pull tighter. And then same thing with the rest of this fabric. I'm just going to kind of go through and weave my sinew in and out, pulling tight in spots. This is kind of a really flow state part of the process. So let go and just have fun with it. And also make sure as you're going along, your symmetry isn't, you'll see the edges where they need to be lined up. You don't want it to get too wonky or your diamond will be unsymmetrical. And then that's it. That's what you get. You get a little nub. You have your diagonals back and forth, and then the center of the diamond there. And then I just kind of wrap back up these diagonals to tie it off a final time up top. And that's that. Tie off the rest of your, tie your sinew off, and you're good to go. We'll discharge this next, and then we'll have we're gonna put a psychedelic design on the back, but that's another video. But I will have the results for this one once we finish it up. Probably show the dyeing process too. So, and maybe the discharge process. Screw it. All right, guys. Thanks. Peace.